How's it going, gamers? I'm Burning with ASG. Welcome back to Throwback Thursday with Metal Slug Advance on the Gameboy Advance. Now, I know I say this a lot, but this is the game I have spent a lot of time playing. And what do I mean by that? Check this out. You see where I'm shooting there? There's actually a little hidden spot up there where these guys kind of hide out, and they're scattered throughout the entire game. You're gonna see a couple of others, but these cards that they hold is a key part of basically extending the enjoyment of this game, and you're seeing me search for them right now. This is a game that I used to love playing on the Game Boy, and for anyone who does not know what a Game Boy is, it was basically a smartphone of my day. It was the portable gaming system that just about any kid had or wanted back in the day. So I had a lot of fun with this as a child, and because I didn't always was able to get a lot of different games, I always explored the ones that I had extremely thoroughly. Now this was a game like when the more cards you collected, the more unlocks you acquired, and the more unlocks you acquired, the more that unlocked within the game. Now, like I'll show you later on in the game of what I really mean by that. There's a particular part in the stage that can only be unlocked with a secret card that is acquired on another level. It sounds kind of complicated, really not. This was intended for kids, so it's pretty basic. Like right there, the guy had a card that was for, I believe, just an item, but later on you can equip different items and things like that to start and to basically progress through the game. Now, the pretty simple. You have a life bar, and it's just an average type of shooter, but what made this game so much more fun is just the goofiness of it. You either started out as the guy or the girl, and you progressed on. You were able to find, well, it's just so funny. Like, as you progress on, you have different characters and whatnot who come into the picture, and you're just trying to eliminate them. It can get fairly chaotic at times, like you're about to see here in just a moment, but it's just the types of weapons you can get up. There are tanks, there are upgrades to the tanks that games back then just really didn't, you really just didn't see anything quite like this for the Game Boy Advance back in the day. And what I mean by that is there were basically a tank that would go invisible, you had a tank that shot rockets, you had a tank that was basically, well, it was basically just backwards. That's about the only way I can describe that one. And the overall game and feel of it was just so cartoonish that I spent a lot of time playing it. The overall objective is get to the end of the game, but once you get there, which is fairly simple, even on hard mode, you often, like at first you feel like, wow, that was easy, but then you kind of start collecting the different types of cards to try to get all of them. There's a completion of the game, but it is very difficult. It took me probably about a year and a half of just casually playing the game before I managed to even get into the 90 percentile. It's like, right now I'm trying to actually find one of the cards. The tank, this was the very first basic tank, and it was kind of clumsy, kind of goofy, but it was still a lot of fun to use because of that Gatling cannon that would completely rip through other tanks as well as the choppers and things of that nature. I loved how you could take the tank, once you got into it, as long as it would fit, you could keep it throughout the entire game. I remember at the very end of the match, I managed to get a tank all the way to the final boss. I lost it because the final boss was basically just shooting things everywhere, and it was almost impossible to dodge in the tank, but it was fun to be able to deal damage to him with something that you ordinarily would not be allowed to take into a boss battle. So it's like, after you, oh, here it is, check this out. There's a little guy right there. Except for not all of them have cards, some of them have ammunition, some of them have weapon upgrades, or temporary weapon upgrades I should say. You always start out with a pistol, except for a couple rounds where you're given a vehicle. Now right here, you see there's a way to go up, there's just a way to go down, and what I mentioned by cards being able to unlock secret areas to levels, is this is a perfect example right here. There's this particular card, I think it's on mission 4, that allows you to go in right past here where it's blocked off. Now, what I find particularly interesting about it is how there's a secret level at the very end of the game that you can only unlock once you've beaten it and once you've collected a certain number of cards. I thought that was definitely a nice addition to the game, and especially consider how many bonuses you could get from the secret area, which had 2 modes. It was definitely something you don't see in games today, or at least on handheld games. Now this was the final boss right here. First time I played him, I really just raged on him. He was a pain in the ass, and I really couldn't figure out the motion because, well, partially because I was like 10 or 11 back then, and it's just, he was so chaotic. In the hard mode version, oh hell no, that one took me forever to beat. But fighting him with a tank was awesome. I loved just like going head to head, mano a mano, tank versus tank. It was crazy. Alright, gamers, that's just gonna about wrap up this Throwback Thursday. It's a little short, I know, but it's a short mission. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments about this. Do you want to see more Metal Slug? If so, let me know, and I'll play a few more missions. Alright, gamers, peace out. Laters.